DJ Khaled made it out of jail and became one of the biggest hitmakers in the game. But now he's fallen off, beefing with other artists and screaming at his record label. And this is how it all went wrong. Ever since 2006, people have been asking what DJ Khaled actually does. He's known for putting a bunch of massive artists on the same track and screaming his own name. But most people have no idea why anyone works with him. He might just be a professional ad-libber at this point. But back in the day, Khaled came up in the industry as an actual DJ. Khaled came up in New Orleans as the son of two Palestinian immigrants who showed up to the city with $20 in their pocket. They sold clothes out of a van to afford food, and Khaled watched them hustle 7 days a week just to provide for the family. He was always into music as a kid, and after they moved to Orlando, Florida, he started DJing in their garage. Khaled was trying to make a name for himself in the local scene, but his family took a major loss when they were robbed around the same time. Khaled's parents had to move back to New Orleans while he stayed in Orlando and kept grinding. He picked up a few DJ sets at local clubs and even sold a couple of beats, but his pockets were still empty. In his book, The Keys, Khaled said he was just a kid and was always getting evicted. He would have friends come over to his place and there would be no furniture or food, just a bunch of records everywhere. Eventually, he realized that sleeping on the floor with no food wasn't going to work out, so Khaled followed his parents back to New Orleans. Moving back in with your parents usually isn't a win, but going back to New Orleans is what turned Khaled into one of the biggest names in the industry. Khaled had to work in a restaurant to get by, but he also got a job at a shop called Odyssey Records, and that's where everything changed. While he was in the record shop, Khaled was able to meet some of the dudes who would launch his career later, like Birdman and Lil Wayne. After spending a year back in his hometown, Khaled won $5K in a DJ contest and moved out to Orlando again. He finally had some momentum going, but then Khaled caught some heat with the police and had to leave town again. Khaled has never been a street dude. He hustled hard to get his money up, but was never active in the trenches. That didn't stop him from breaking the law though. Back in Orlando, he kept getting pulled over for driving with a suspended license, and eventually it landed him in jail for a month. A month behind bars isn't a lot compared to some of the rappers he's homies with, but it was enough to make Khaled realize he never wanted to go back. When he got out of jail, Khaled packed up again and moved to Miami with no money left in his pockets. He would DJ at small clubs, but back then he was living out of his car because the money still wasn't coming in. Not long after, Khaled got a job as a DJ for a private studio and started sleeping there. DJ Khaled had been working for years, and it was all starting to pay off. He was getting better DJ gigs, traveling around handing out CDs full of beats, and linking up with every artist he could. Khaled finally got his own radio show in 2003, and around the same time, he got close with Fat Joe and joined his Terror Squad crew. But Khaled had bigger plans than just being part of a group, and in 2006, he dropped his debut solo album. He produced a few of the tracks on the record, but it was clear from the jump that Khaled's real skill was getting other people to jump on his songs. He had features from Kanye, John Legend, Lil Wayne, T.I., and way more. Khaled doesn't rap or sing at all, but the features and buzz around the album made it debut at number 12 on the Billboard 200. He followed it up next year with the album We the Best and debuted at number 8. Critics were already clowning him for just yelling his name on songs while his homies in the rap game carried the tracks. But obviously, fans didn't care because Khaled was popping off without doing any of the hard work. In 2011, he went double platinum with the track All I Do Is Win, then scored his first top 10 hit when he linked up with Drake for I'm On One. The song also earned Khaled his first Grammy nomination, even though he didn't really make it. He kept the momentum going and was dropping albums and hits every year. And in 2016, he went from just being a star in the rap game to an actual celebrity. When Khaled joined Snapchat at the end of 2015, nobody was ready for what he had planned. He started posting videos of himself watering his garden, riding jet skis, and telling everyone the keys to success. Fans thought it was hilarious, and he went so viral that people started calling him the king of Snapchat. Out of nowhere, Khaled was going on talk shows like Ellen DeGeneres and becoming a superstar overnight. Rap fans have known his name for a decade, but Snapchat gave Khaled a crazy audience. People still dissed him for calling himself a DJ, even though he hadn't been spinning discs for years, but Khaled just kept it pushing and didn't let the critics get to him. He branched out even more that year and wrote a book about his life, and in 2017, he ran up crazy numbers with the track I'm the One. It was another massive hit that proved Khaled could hit 1 billion streams on Spotify just by getting a bunch of other artists together, and at that point, it looked like nothing was going to slow him down. But right after Khaled hit a new level of fame, the situation started to fall apart. Besides rap money, Khaled has always been looking for other ways to keep his pockets up. He wrote a book, started a furniture business called We the Best Home, and even picked up a few acting jobs too. But in 2018, the hustle came back to haunt him. Khaled started promoting a cryptocurrency from a company called Centra Tech Inc., and in May 2018, the people running it were indicted for fraud. A few months later, the news broke that they paid Khaled $50K to promote their coin on social media, and he never told his followers about the cash he was getting. Floyd Mayweather got taken down in the same case, and both of them ended up having to pay $750K to the SEC. Khaled didn't just lose way more racks than he earned. The SEC also forced him to not promote any other cryptocurrencies for the next 2 years. Khaled got dragged online for lying to his fans, but what went down in 2019 made him look way worse. Khaled's whole image is about being the best. His second album was called We the Best. His fifth album was called We the Best Forever, and his label is called We the Best Music Group. So when Tyler the Creator beat him for the #1 Billboard spot in 2019, Khaled took the situation personally. Tyler the Creator has had a wild career ever since the Odd Future days, but he was never dropping hits back to back like Khaled. He was always into making less mainstream music, and a lot of people think his album Igor was the weirdest one yet. That's why Khaled and other artists were shocked when Tyler took the top spot when both their albums dropped in 2019. Khaled tried to bundle his album with energy drink sales to boost his numbers, but Billboard decided that they didn't count, so he ended up at #2 behind Tyler. And after the numbers came out, Khaled took shots at him on IG. He ended up deleting the video later, but Khaled said,
"I make albums so people can play it and you actually hear it. It's called great music. It's called albums that you actually hear the songs. Not no mysterious shit and you never hear it."
Khaled had an insane list of features on his album. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Justin Bieber, Cardi B, Lil Baby, and way more. But he still couldn't beat Tyler's numbers. And according to sources close to the situation, he ended up taking it all out on his label, Epic Records. Apparently, after the numbers were released, Khaled rolled into Epic's offices with his crew and started screaming at people. One person told Page 6 he was furious. There was some nasty stuff said. Publicly, he's all about positivity, but there's a mean side to him that people don't see. A couple of years later, Tyler the Creator told Hot 97
it was just watching a man die inside because the weirdo was winning.
And after he won a Grammy for Igor, Tyler hopped online and took a shot at Khaled when he tweeted, "Mysterious music, ha!" For a long time, it seemed like Khaled's career was untouchable, even though critics and rap fans were always clowning him. He would just link up with the hottest artists in the world and drop another hit, and for a while, it always worked. But after the Tyler situation, it looks like his numbers might never be the same. He's had a couple of big songs since then, but his last album only had one track that broke 100 mil on Spotify. That's still a lot of plays, but it was a collab between Drake and Lil Baby, so it was always gonna do numbers. In the 2010s, you would hear Khaled yelling on tracks all over the place, but at this point, it seems like fans are ready to move on. As long as he has industry connections, he'll still be able to put massive artists on tracks together. But at the end of the day, his friends in the game are the only reason his career is still going right now. Maybe he'll switch it up and start making his own music again like he did back in the day. Or maybe he's just focused on becoming a pro golfer now. He had to hustle hard to get to where he's at today. But if something doesn't change, he could end up losing it all.